Later, it's
right there. I rest my case.
I disagree. I think if we're going to
When did they make the voting age 18?
That was an amendment, wasn't it?
You're right.
See, your public scholars are hard at work.
The 26th Amendment in 1971. Before that, it was 21.
I think if you're going to be made to pay taxes at our age, then you should definitely be allowed to choose who your leaders are. We're all forced to pay taxes by the U.S. government.
Because you're a rich TV star.
Okay, no,
Most kids don't pay taxes.
I'll do you one better. They're going to put a rifle in my hand and put me in some strange country. I'm going to vote for who's going to put me there.
Well, I have an answer for that.
I think if you're at an age when you're 18 to go and die for your beliefs, you should be able to go to a voting booth.
Let me tell you why that's a fallacious argument. Because when you are in the Army, you want stupid young people. That's how they're... No, because all you want is young people who are moldable, who will do what the sergeant...
You want fighting machines.
Fighting machines who will do what the sergeant tells them, not think for themselves. That will be what saves that young person's life.
That's what the Army needs.
That's not what you want in a voting booth.
But when you're in the...
So they're different things. You shouldn't say, well, if you vote...
You don't want stupid people fighting for your country.
No.
But you want people who aren't going to say on the battlefield, if the colonel says, go kill this guy, they're going to be like, well, I have moral qualms about that. You want people who are going to just act without question. And unfortunately, that sort of contradicts what we're saying when, you're of voting age, so we want you to think. But, when you're on the battlefield, we don't want you to think. It sort of contradicts it, but I don't know. I think
you can get into the whole military.
Everybody, I've had more political discussions with people my age and gotten into more passionate debates with people my age than older people. I think there's a tendency once you reach the age of 25 or 30 or as you get older to start thinking that you were stupider, that you weren't, but we make up so much of the population. We make probably more of the population right now.
That's not true. It's the baby boomers who make up a large segment of the population. You just never hear about them because it's your asses that are being kissed all the time. It's true. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. When I was your age, there was never somebody your age on the cover of a magazine that wasn't a teenage magazine. Nowadays, because you guys have not decided on brand loyalty yet, that's who the advertisers kiss.
But there's a demand for younger people.
That's not your fault.
There's a demand for that. That's what the advertisers are looking for. If they're in a magazine saying, well, we want to advertise for an acne medicine, they're not going to put some 7-year-old in an ad and say, Bob, whatever, it's advertising. You want young kids because most young kids are purchasing these products. And, I don't think you can blame the advertisers for putting...
You can't equate the times. You can sit there and you can say, well, there weren't young people, we didn't have to worry about, young people being on the cover of magazines when you were a kid. You also, didn't have to worry about kids going into your school and shooting everybody else that's around there.
How does that work? I don't understand.
It's a different time. It's a completely different time. Society is changing, and right now it seems everything is based towards the teenage.
I feel sympathy for you that you have this burden. I think it would be a terrible burden to have the world revolve around you like this country does.
It's not a burden. I don't think it's a burden at all. I am also talking about putting young people on the covers of magazines. Nowadays, a lot of adults, like my parents and my friends' parents, they're young parents. And they're also looking at those kids, and it's kind of sad, but they're trying to they're kind of regaining their youth by looking at that. I know of a lot of parents that like to see the young kids that are on the magazines.
Well, they like to see them. I don't think they like to read about them. I like to see Britney Spears on the cover of a magazine. She has absolutely nothing to tell me or anybody else about what.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
My parents are obviously not going to read about Britney Spears and, say, oh, well, she makes a good point. I could learn a lot from baby.
She makes two good points.
My parents are not obvious. My parents are 50 years old. They're not going to... Sorry, Mom. Sorry. They're not, they're not going to learn a lot, but, I think that, people buying these magazines are younger people. I don't think that you get a subscription to 17 magazine, and,
anyway.
I also think there's something to be said for the fact that in American culture right now, I think people are, by the age of 18, we're pressured to be adults a lot more than I think you were. I think people grow up so much faster now. So adolescence is sort of becoming a state that people stay in for the rest of their lives. I think the baby boomers are an example of perpetual adolescence. They're more adolescents than we are sometimes. And I think they relate to us. And so they buy our magazines. Or try to.
Yeah. They don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. Because that's what the advertisers want. They want you.
Right.
Because you haven't decided what shaving cream you're going to use yet.
Right. But you're selling the product. If it's going to sell the product, if a mangled puppy is going to sell the product, they'll put a mangled puppy on the covers. Whatever anybody wants. Whatever anybody wants.
It's true.
an animal lover.
It's true. No, but it's whatever is going to sell the product is going to go on the cover of the magazine.
Okay,
if a young kid is going to sell the product, then they're going to put a young kid on the cover of the magazine.
I think it goes on a really abstract level. If you think about it this way, America right now is sort of in its teenage years, and I think that the teenager right now is the ultimate personification of the American dream, the ultimate personification of American ideals. That's where we're at as a culture. So I think that the teenager right now is the most important symbol, the most important thing in our country.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you can, say, oh, the teenager, we've got to base everything around the teenager. I mean,
no, I'm not saying we have to. I'm saying we're going to, because that's where we're at. We do. And that's why
because I don't think we look to teenagers for physicality, we look to them for new fashion trends, but we don't look to them to make political decisions, moral decisions.
No, but
that's
the point, is they put you on the cover of the magazine, and then inside, George Magazine, they ask you what you do if you were president, Brittany.
I don't think that what younger kids, they're there for physical stuff, they're there for fashion trends, but they're not there to set political
Then why are we obsessed with people like Johnny Lang, the blues guitarist? Mm-hmm. Why does our Britney Spears or
Tiger Woods?
We're obsessed with younger people doing amazing things.
But that's the media.
It's not just about looks, though. It's about the fact that this kid picked up a guitar when he was 13. By the age of 16, he had 3 albums out or whatever. Or the fact that Britney Spears is 18, she's an amazing singer. All these young kids, they're talented. We're trying to. It seems like everybody's pointing to these people and saying, see, we can do it when we're younger. We can do it when we're younger.
I have to interrupt you to sell some stuff to teenagers. We'll be right back.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, brought to you by Visa.
Starting a small business takes a burning entrepreneurial spirit, a singular, bold vision, the courage to fight an endless uphill battle. But that's not all you need. Oh, no.
Need some furniture.
And some curtains would be nice. That's why you need the Visa business card. Because Jules sells her furniture like millions of other places. Doesn't take any card from American Express.
I love these chairs.
And I'm really happy with these window treatments. What? Visa business card. It's everywhere you want to be.
It's a fact. All whitening toothpastes are not the same. Aquafresh whitening is different. Only Aquafresh has TriClean, a patented whitener proven to remove stains like coffee, tea, and cola without harming tooth enamel. And Aquafresh has no bleach, peroxide, or harsh abrasives. Plus, Aquafresh gives you full fluoride and tartar protection, too. That's quite a difference. Aquafresh whitening gets teeth stronger, brighter, and TriClean whiter.
Now, every night, there's a fever sweeping the country. Introducing Sprint Nickel Nights. Now calls are just a nickel a minute every night. Catch the fever of 5-cent calling with Sprint Nickel Nights. Get it while it's hot. Call 1-800-PEN-DROP.
2020 Sunday. BJ had courage most adults don't. He told police he witnessed a shooting. Some say he paid an awful price.
Just nuts. Whoever could do that to you.
On 2020 Sunday.
Resistant barbarians. Overpowered savages. Thwarted the uncivilized. And that was just on the drive to work. Chevy Blazer. Steel-reinforced double-wall doors. Powerful Vortec engine. A little security in an insecure world. Chevy Blazer, like a rock. They're not human. They kill without mercy. They can't be stopped. Until now. This summer, only one man holds the key to defeat them. From Michael Crichton and director John McTiernan. Antonio Banderas, The 13th Warrior, rated R, starts Friday, August 27th.
Join us Monday for a special bathing suit installment of Politically Incorrect.
We're talking about this generation thing and the fact that you are the most pandered to generation, not just by the media, also by the politicians. You notice any time President Clinton who's just the best at it, they all do it, wants to sell anything, they slap on, it's for the kids.
Oh, that I am so against that. I think that is all political rhetoric. You know, they don't care about the kids. The kids are not voting for them. They're trying to... Yeah.
Yes.
Real sensitive.
He wanted to touch on
it. Was all for the kids.
I think that's all political rhetoric. All they're trying to do is trying to impress the parents, and they don't care about the kids. They just want votes. And for the kids' sake, it's such an antiquated, I'm very against.
So all the things that they say that they're protecting you from, and it's always for the kids, they want to build the internet for the kids, or censor the internet for the kids, or bomb Europe for the kids, or
nice
whatever for the kids.
I appreciated that. That was nice of them.
Stop the media, from poisoning you. Let me ask you, what do you think really, and in light of what happened last month in Colorado, what do you think really is harmful to people your age? Is it the media? Is that harmful to you? Is that what's doing it? Is it, what should they be protecting
Number one
you
thing,
from?
lack of education.
There you go.
Yes.
That's
Exactly.
the most harmful thing. Lack of sexual education, lack of gun education, lack of education in all these different areas. People are freaking out because kids are having sex too young or shooting people. It all comes down to if you educate kids about stuff, if you let them know what's going on.
When you say education, do you mean like in the public school system?
Yeah,
or
I mean every
meeting.
Ignorance is just
killing our generation.
Yes.
All the way around.
It was ignorance that was the culprit in Colorado. Do you think that's what was wrong?
I think it was
there?
lack of parental control. Yeah.
I mean, they said that one of the kids that went in there, the father called halfway through what was going on, halfway through the shooting, called before the police knew who was in there, before the police knew there were two gunmen, called and said, "I think my son might be one of the people that are in there involved in this." Now, obviously, if he's going to call halfway through, there had to have been some signs beforehand that something was going to happen.
There were bombs in his room.
So where are the parents there? I mean, do you walk in and say, "Oh, there's bombs in his room, maybe I should talk to him"?
Even if they had, there were things on the websites that these kids have obviously had to have the means to put together a website. They were posting things. There were things on the website that said, April 20th, everyone's going to pay. And there were kids that weren't even in high school that knew of this website. So, I mean, if the parents have a computer in the house, and I mean, they have to just, do they not even speak to their kids?
If you had that on your website, and you had a bomb on your dresser,
right,
your parents would know and say something?
You know,
you think they would?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't just that day that obviously he got steered off course. I mean, there had to have been a pattern of course.
They were building these bombs for a year. They were building
the thing that really got me mad was that they were evaluated by child psychologists, these two kids, and both of them predicted to have great lives, and both of them were predicted by school counselors to say they're going to be very successful. And that leads to the validity
They were
and the
not
necessity.
stupid or ignorant, which is why I take exception to what you said about education. I think that this was a very good school, an affluent school.
Well, then maybe if you extend the word, the vocabulary I'm using, education also in the home. I mean, parents educating the kids about
the parents were, these were not dumb white trash parents. These were.
But I mean, how could they not have been oblivious to what was going on?
But that's a different thing than education.
They weren't involved in the kids' lives at all. Right. They weren't involved. They weren't worried about their kids.
They were ignorant.
The school wasn't worried about the kids. To the school, the kids were just another number.
All kids shut out parents.
Yes.
Remember, my biggest goal was to masturbate in peace.
Right.
And
Hello.
But it was.
Yeah.
And
what is masturbation?
Wow, you are on a TV show.
Mom?
Right. Well, when I was your age, it was all I had. But that's why I wanted to lock my door. And my father, why do you lock this door? Because you don't knock when you come in. So everything, I had a poster in my room of Sophia Loren behind another poster of Mr. Spock. I would...
The school also, that's something else, talking about the school being ignorant too. The school is trying to say that they didn't know of any such trench coat mafia thing that's going on.
Right.
They took out a page in the yearbook. You have to pay for those pages that are in the back of the yearbook. They have an entire page that was dedicated to the trench coat mafia that you have to send in. It has to be approved by all the school board. I'm sorry, my school, I go to a public school. My school knows of all that stuff that's going on. My principal and vice principal, they walk around and they can tell you of all the cliques. I know who's in that clique. I know what's going on there.
Well, everybody's passing blame at this point. I mean, that's what it is. It happened, and now everybody instead of saying, well, we've got a big problem, we have to fix it, we're instead saying, well, we've got a big problem, whose fault is it?
But shouldn't we? Isn't there a lot of blame to go around? Okay, I'm behind you now. We're going to take a commercial. Okay.
hundreds of thousands of smokers have quit. It's the gradual step-down method, and you get it only from Nicoderm CQ. Store brand patches have only one step. You can't step down your dose. Nicoderm CQ has 3. You step down gradually, and gradual is the method doctors prefer. Quitting's important. Choose carefully. Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
This summer, only one movie has the critics agree.
Action! Oh my God! Oh my God!
You will laugh your butt off. Yeah, Goldfinger has it all. Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy are hysterical.
This stuff is butter.
It's the year's funniest comedy.
Be sensitive above all, because in the scene, Daisy's going to take off her blouse.
Don't miss it. Goldfinger.
And action.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, August 13th at theaters everywhere.
Once I asked my Italian mother, Ma, how come your kitchen's always full of people? She said, because my cooking's always full of surprises. And that's kind of how the Olive Garden is. You think you've had Alfredo, and then here comes a new seafood Alfredo. They take shrimp, crawfish, saute them, and toss them with fettuccine Alfredo. It's Alfredo like you've never tasted, with all the salad and breadsticks you want. It's part of the Olive Garden's hospitality. You know, taste what you love like you never tasted it before. The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Gordon, Jerry, Earnhardt, Martin. NASCAR's best hit the world's most famous track, the Brickyard 400. Saturday at 1 on ABC.
There's something new about Mary.
Are you the guy making all that big noise?
And now, it's funnier than ever.
Is that hair gel?
Now, with outrageous new footage, Mary's better than ever. Own Mary on video today.
Sunday, ABC 7 keeps you up on the latest business changes with Business Now.
Internet banking is here. Find out who's putting their money where their computer is. Watch Business Now Sunday morning at 11:30, right here on ABC 7.
Excuse me, what is that one for?
It's for your goodness.
Well, what about that one?
That'll make you feel good.
And that one?
Your holisticness,
This?
wellness,
That?
goodness,
What that?
whole well and good.
Where's the aspirin?
I have no idea.
For a detailed wellness guide and the products you really need, check out drugstore.com. It's a trip to the drugstore without the trip to the drugstore.
Many sport utility vehicles feature a body that's held to a frame by just 10 bolts. The body and frame of the Infiniti QX4 is actually one solid structure held together by over 4,200 precision welds. So if you ever wonder why the QX4 drives so solid, it's because it is so solid.
This is really turning out great. You guys are better than, I must say, a lot of people who are older as kids. I can tell you that. It's true. I am. But if you weren't, I'd tell you that too.
Exactly.
As my audience knows, I'm not nice to anybody without a good reason. Anyway, I want to ask you this. If you think your life is going to get better, now, I am always hard on people who come on the show and try to tell me or anybody else how to live their life. But from my experience, I will tell you that phrase, life begins at 40, was true. Life got a lot better. Not exactly at 40, but it was certainly better later than younger. Do you feel that that's going to be the case? Now, you're not exactly typical because you're doing so well now, but do you think life will be better, or do you think it's peaking now?
I can't wait. Ever since I was really young, I'm only 17 now, but ever since I was really young, I've always thought about, I can't wait to be older. I've always looked forward to being old for some reason. And not that 40 is old, my parents are 40, but I look forward to being that age.
You talk about the fact that I dated your mom.
You didn't. But I look forward to being 40, and I see the life that my parents have, and I can't wait to be that age. But at the same time, I worry about having kids. I mean, by the time I worry about the life that my kids are going to be having, like I see the life that I live now, and the things that are going on now, and I do worry about being a parent. So I look forward to my life being 40, but I also worry about the life that my kids are going to have.
What do you worry about with your kids?
I look at like everything that we're going through now, like with this Colorado shooting, and I only hope that it gets better, and I hope that because we've lived kind of the crazy 90s that we have, and that when we get older and we have kids, that like, we'll be able to teach our kids, you know, learn from history kind of a thing.
Yeah, you don't have to shield them from everything
But
that's
I
going
also,
on.
but I'm like so
But every
paranoid.
generation says that, and then what every
Exactly.
generation does is tries to make it easier for their kids and just screws them up.
Exactly, and that's what I worry about.
I mean, for a good amount of time, you know, the kids did have it better than the parents. I mean, that was, you know, there was a time, you know, where it was, you know, the next generation. Yeah, the next generation was
every generation
much more well off.
This kid drove to a shooting in a BMW.
Yeah, I mean, it's
when I was a kid, we had to walk to school for our shooting.
Oh man.
Barefoot in the snow.
And we borrowed guns and always returned them.
I don't know, not to get off the subject, but back to like the 40s thing about, you know, am I looking forward to life in the 40s? I think that now, or I'm 18, but your 20s and I guess the earlier half of your 30s are much more turbulent times, I think. I think you're not sure where your career is going. I'm sure your family, you're still figuring out who you are, I guess. And I think...
At 40, you're still going to feel that way, though.
I know, but
every year, I mean, I feel like when I was like 14, I was like, when I'm 18, it'll be perfect. And now I'm going to be 18 in a week, and I feel like, when I'm 20, it'll be perfect.
Right,
but it does get better.
I think you have more of a grasp of what you want from life, what your life's about. I think, hopefully at 40, I'll have a family, I'll have kids, I'll just be a little more grounded with my life. And I think that's what... I don't know if it's going to be better, but it's certainly going to be different. And just, I mean, because I can't say that I don't enjoy life now. I mean, we're all very lucky, but...
I think part of the mentality of, like, looking forward to being older is that you feel like it's going to be easier. You always feel like life will be easier when, like, something else happens. Right. Like, I always feel like life will be easier when I'm out of school. Life will be easier when I'm married. Life will be easier
I think
when
there's a problem. I mean, I'm very much the kind of person where I think there's, not necessarily a problem, but I think maybe if you're looking too far ahead, then you're not really living in the moment and enjoying what you have now. And if I'm constantly going, you know, it's going to get better when I'm 40 or whatever, then I'm not looking around going, I'm really damn lucky to be where I am right now.
You know, some of these kids who seem so disaffected and alienated to do something so unspeakable, I would have liked to have said to them, you know what, it does get better. Even from 16 to 22. I mean, that is the hardest time of your life that you're going through right now.
That's what amazed me. I mean, I am 22, and I'm at that time in my life.
22?
I'm 22.
Get off,
yeah.
It's under 20, and I was like, okay. I'm 19.
Yeah, no, but it is true, because I've only been out of high school for 5 years, but there's already been such a big change in my life. I mean, you really do, you know, I'm starting to grasp a little bit more of who I am, and more of like, I know, all my hair's gone.
Let me tell you, college kids today are what high school kids were 25 years ago. Their maturity level.
But isn't that because you're older and you started looking back on that?
No,
I think there's this thing. Kids are always
going to change a little bit.
No, because my parents were World War II parents. The kids who went to college in the late 60s. These parents are both baby boomer parents. These kids have kids for parents. And trust me, I play colleges. I talk to them all the time. They're lame.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, as far as maturity goes, for being out of the house at their age, they are way too immature.
But whose fault is that?
Their parents.
I don't know. So then it's your fault.
Well, I'm not a parent.
When I get a migraine, I just want to get rid of it. And I found a way to do it in one dose. One dose. With Excedrin Migraine. It's the one doctors recommend most for migraine pain. Excedrin Migraine. Safely relieves migraine pain in just one dose.
A while back, when our new larger Saturns came in, one of our customers was out of town.
Show them the back seat.
So a couple of our retailers put together a little video for him to show off the bigger engine and new suspension.
Feel how smooth?
And while they're not the best filmmakers, that customer knows a little more about our new larger Saturn LS.
Well, it's a big truck. You should get a shot at it.
And a whole lot more about Saturn.
This is good stuff.
This is long-lasting makeup, but it's no match for the new Biore Facial Cleansing Cloth. Biore cloths have special hydroweave fibers to trap dirt and makeup, lifting it away without rinsing. For an absolute clean, you can see. Biore, clean, honest.
Hi, I'm Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. The NFL and the United Way this season are celebrating 25 years of working together to help our neighbors in need. By working together, the NFL and the United Way are making a difference. The NFL, the United Way, and you. The power of teamwork.
While Lexus tests to the highest standards of safety, we also test for the intangibles. Luxury. Comfort. Ergonomics. Even beauty. The LS400. The true test of luxury.
Your diodes look stunning this evening.
See your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer.
It's going on now. Macy's Super Weekend Sale with 25 to 50% savings store-wide. Plus, take an extra 15% off sale and clearance prices all day every time you use your Macy's charge. Fabulous fashions, great names for every member of the family. Take an extra 15% off sale and clearance prices all day every time you use your Macy's charge. It's going on now during Macy's Super Weekend Sale.
I want to tell you my secret now. I see dead people.
What do you think the ghosts want?
They want me to do things for them. Oh, you're scaring me.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere.
Not every gift.
Is anyone there?
Is a blessing. The sixth sense.
Please make them be.
I'm working on it. Rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
Planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 323-575-4321.
Okay, we mentioned Britney Spears before. I know this is supposed to be a big secret, but it's not. She had a boob job at 17. Isn't this wrong at 17?
I say let your body finish growing. That's a little weird. I mean, 25 maybe.
I think it's wrong that she should feel she has to.
I don't really blame her. I don't blame her.
Isn't it more weird that we can sit here and have a conversation about somebody's boobs and have it be fine? Like, I mean, what, I mean...
But that is an issue. Come on. When your plastic surgeon is giving you a lollipop...
Are you on Viagra? I mean, you don't want to talk about that.
Why do you want to know?